Effect hits you like a wave, a fresh new spin on the news you crave. Turn the page and you see the light, a different angle that feels so right. No more waiting for the truth to show. Every story starts to glow. Daily news in a way you didn't know. It's the Taz Effect that steals the show. Open your mind, let the colors flow. Daily news in a way you didn't know.
Hey. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect. Daily news in a way you didn't know you could use. For those listening in over the radio airwaves, thank you for tuning in at gcpr.live. For everyone else watching and listening from all around the social media sphere, thank you for joining today. In case you have not heard, she's still a bird-legged hoe. But she's no longer DHS secretary. She girl bossed way too close to the sun. And Mark Wayne Mullen is officially replacing Kristi Noem as DHS secretary. Now, Kristi Noem is not going to be depleted and completely removed from the administration, although many people forgot that she was a part of the cabinet. She is going to be a special envoy to the West. What does that mean? They're keeping her around because I guess she's good at fellatio, allegedly. So they created this new position and they're going to announce it Saturday. Hopefully they'll announce it Saturday. There's still time for Trump to change his mind. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Nightbird. Hey, Annabelle. Yeah. Like I said, Kristi Noem, still a bird-legged hoe. Mm-hmm. What was that? Kristi Noem, still a bird-legged hoe. And if you're going to have an affair, don't have an affair at work, number one. When people find out about your affair, don't start committing fraud thinking that's going to cover the affair, okay? Because multiple women from the GOP, that's how y'all were getting caught up, number one. Number two, women are not always victims. And before y'all try to come out the bag on me, let me explain. Representative Gonzalez had an affair with a staffer. That's wrong. Yes. That was a grown-ass woman who in text messages to fellow staffers said, yeah, don't worry about it. I had an affair with them, as if she was preparing the next affair partner. Now, the word on the curb, the story from her was about to be ex-husband, was that she committed suicide by setting herself on fire. I call bullshit on that. Okay, now all of a sudden, the almost ex-husband that's now a widow who decided to out her to everyone. He was the one sending text messages and emails around to everybody going, hey, this is her soon-to-be ex-husband. I just want everybody to know why I'm divorcing this effer. Is now claiming that she was groomed into it. She was forced into it. No, she wanted to fuck that man. Sorry. She wanted to screw that man. Okay? You made it public. You weren't expecting things to go the way that they did. Whether you set her on fire out of your own rage or whatever happened. So now you need a cover. Multiple things can be true at once. She wanted the ping. She got it. You got embarrassed. And now you're trying to save face. Hey, Sigrid. But can we stop? Please stop automatically looking at a set of boobs and quote unquote soft features and going, that's a victim right there. That's a victim. Because no, that's not always the case. There are times that women want to just slob on a knob because it's Tuesday afternoon. There is a former mayor of a city that just got convicted of raping a teenage boy. Once again, women are not always victims. Sometimes the victim is non-binary, sometimes the victim is a man. Get mad if you want to. Argue with your parents for not teaching you this. Argue with yourself to be at your big, big age and you did not realize this. I'm going to need y'all to stop going, girl power. We can do whatever we want. We're just as good as the men. And then when it comes to accountability, this is why we can't escape the accusations, ladies. We act like we're the perpetual victims and we can't be the victimizers. Every time something happens, y'all search far and wide to make a woman the victim. You search far and wide to alleviate her from accountability. Now, on the flip side of that, those of y'all that witnessed the sound of coffee this morning, first of all, Josh, congratulations. Congratulations. And let me remind y'all, Josh didn't lose focus. Josh was battling cancer. Whooped cancer's ass. Now will be performing at Carnegie Hall and is receiving all sorts of accolades and awards, including the tippy top. The top. Okay? I don't want people out here. Oh, he didn't lose focus. Okay. He didn't have a down moment. He battled cancer and won. And still kept the music going. So congratulations, Josh. And continued success. Continued success. He absolutely did. Hey, Nana J. He actually did do the damn thing. And hey, Solid Blue Sister. And also, for those of y'all that popped into the sound of coffee this morning, thank you. I am proud of y'all. Thank you. And hopefully y'all got to see what I saw. After me saying what I said yesterday and me finally opening up, isn't it amazing that nobody fell apart? Isn't it amazing that we got a chance to celebrate multiple people? Praise multiple people. And somebody didn't look at the praise and go, "Oop, let me rain on this by talking about tragedy." Look, I'll tell you a joke. I'll tell you a story about my life. But one thing for certain, two things for sure, I ain't going to tell you no damn lie. You hear me? I'll never tell you a lie. I don't care how bad and downtrodden things get. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. I saw Nana J. Thank you. All right. Now you want to know who does not deserve props? The poster child. For white bitches, not so anonymous. And before you get upset, white ladies, I didn't say white ladies. I didn't say Scandinavian ladies. I didn't say Italian ladies. I said white bitches anonymous. Y'all know what a white bitch is. If you ain't a white bitch, sit down. Zip it. Shh. AG Pam Bondi claims right to take over state bar investigations of her lawyers' ethics or else, cites unprecedented weaponization of complaints. Let's not forget, okay? Taz Farms remembers that Pam Bondi just recently perjured herself on the congressional floor. Now, she's also been subpoenaed to testify in front of the Oversight Committee regarding her mishandling of the Epstein files, not just recently, but from virtually the beginning. Hey, so this is one of those times. Y'all want justice? Y'all want change? Get your pen and papers ready because y'all got some homework and y'all got some work to do. I know I'm the educator that normally doesn't give homework, but y'all a little hard headed. So I'm going to have to give y'all a little work before we get into this article. You ready? You ready? Good. Take notes. This is a point in time where you're going to need to contact your representation. And by your representation, I mean any and everybody on Capitol Hill, whether they're on the oversight committee or not. This is what you're going to do. You're going to tell them that we, the people, want accountability. If Bondi starts to perjure herself, hold her in contempt and be prepared to immediately vote on contempt charges. Number one. Number two, if Lauren Boebert and or Nancy Mace continues to make a mockery of these proceedings while the proceedings are going on, we the people want the committee and associates at the Department of Justice to start bringing forth, wait for it, wait for it, accomplice after the fact charges. Essentially, it's like receiving stolen goods. You have had a chance behind the scenes to see what the public has not been able to see, and you have decided to stand in the way and block proper prosecution, proper justice. So you are now an accomplice after the fact, and we want you charged as such, post haste. Also remind them that every step of the way, they need to remind Pam Bondi that this was a bipartisan vote. Therefore, you need to answer our questions and answer our questions truthfully. You are a role model to little boys and girls and everyone in between that are growing up because you are the head of the Justice Department and you are a girl. And remind her that she's a biological girl since they seem to be stuck on that terminology. They don't like cisgendered, so put it forth like that. But yes, accessory after the fact. For Nancy Mace, Pam Bondi, and Lauren Boebert, if they continue to stand in the way while pretending to be for justice. And like I said, I wrote about this. Skip me on over to Patreon and take a look. Now, to crack down on the weaponization of complaints, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is claiming the right through rulemaking to tell state bar authorities investigating her DOJ lawyers' ethics to stand down. The proposed rule, first reported by Bloomberg Law on Wednesday, is now subject to a 30-day public comment period. Write that down as part of your homework, too. I do not care if you have a Juris Doctor or not. You are here confined to the borders of these here United States, these blood-drenched, diabolically tyrannical lands. This is your time to shine. Y'all love a Yelp review. Y'all love a Google review. Y'all love bombarding comment sections. I see y'all. This is your time to shine. Stretch it out. Get them fingers ready. Let's get it. Let's go. Its aims are sweeping, and as written, permit Bondi, as the matter of fact and right, to federalize review of allegations against her attorneys and to request that the bar disciplinary authority suspend any parallel investigations until the completion of the department's review. Now, should this go into effect, just like everything that the GOP and essentially Trump has preemptively sued about, pushed through the courts, it's going to backfire. Pam Bondi and others are making moves as if they have lifetime appointments, as if they will consistently be the ones sitting there with the crown atop their head and the sepulcher in their hand. They won't. Eventually, they will be back in the private sector, and they will be in the private sector trying to sue and fight litigiously in order to silence those who will rightfully be able to prosecute them. But in the meantime, in between time, all of those skills that you all have honed since the birth of the internet and social media, now is your time to shine. Now, I want you all to pay very, very close attention to what I'm about to play for you. I want you to take in the information that you're hearing. Okay? This is not a time for you to try to be an armchair expert. Really pay attention. We're not living in a simulation. This is not a movie. This is real life. And you need to be prepared for as much as you possibly can. Okay? Okay. Stop, look, and listen.
This is information you need to know. It's not meant to scare you, but with the recent development with Iran, it's going to be important. This is my master's degree in Homeland Security, and it has become pretty applicable recently. There are two types of potential attacks that we should be looking out for on U.S. soil. One would be a lone wolf, someone that is self-radicalized, a bomber, or a shooter, and they're very hard to spot. The other would be an Iranian state-sponsored cell that has infiltrated the U.S. and is looking for a symbolic or mass casualty event. We may have already seen that first type of attack in Austin, Texas. More information needs to be released, but at the time of recording, we're not sure yet. With the second type of attack, we know that a good amount of Iranians have already illegally entered the country. The question is, were they fleeing from their homeland, or were they looking to set something up here, and what would a cell like that look like? It's important to remember that Iran specializes in creating proxy forces that fight for them. So even if they sent over an Iranian to be a commander of a group, they probably looked for domestic extremists to carry out their plans for them. Or they hired people in ways that they think they're doing nothing wrong. So if you see someone doing something odd, they could look like anyone. Be aware. One of the things we should be looking for most is a dirty bomb. That's a conventional explosive that has a radiological element to it, meaning when it explodes, the radioactive particles disperse. However, that is not the same as a nuclear bomb. We're not expecting a massive explosion. In fact, it would probably be a pretty small bomb, and then that radioactive debris just contaminates an area. With the dirty bomb, we're not expecting mass casualties. Instead, we're expecting massive disruption. Once that contaminant's leaked, it can take years to clean up. So you would expect this at places that have key importance or critical infrastructure. You should be on the lookout for people that are behaving strangely or carrying odd packages, especially around high traffic areas or key points, like the financial district in New York. Also, if you work in shipping, be extra alert because a lot of times these individuals or groups will send their final device through public companies. For instance, FedEx, UPS, things like that. Things can happen anywhere, so be alert, and if you see something, say something. You might save a lot of lives, like Richard Jewell, who noticed a suspicious backpack underneath a bench in Centennial Park and saved hundreds of lives.
Throughout my more recent coverage of the Epstein Maxwell files, most of the people who have consumed the content have been frustrated by two things. One, people waiting decades to come out and say, oh, yeah, I did remember seeing this person with this person. It's happened with many high profile kidnapping cases, things like that. It is time to break this habit of seeing something and not saying anything until it gets to national news because you want your 15 seconds of fame instead of just doing the right thing. And also, something that I've noticed with the Nancy Guthrie case, where people are like, well, who is she? Why is she in part? And there are so many other people. Are you the type of person that shows up to a fundraiser for someone with lung cancer and talks about breast cancer? Like, I'm going to need you to stop. We need for this to stop. So if you see something, legitimately see something, that means begin, if you have not already, your deconstruction journey. Because we do not need xenophobia, Islamophobia, none of that playing into this. We do not need another Red Scare. Let me remind you all, we did not get back to ground zero from pre-Red Scare until, wait for it, Joseph Robinette Biden was sworn into office. And we have erased all of that progress. All of it. Because at the end of the day, you are still under the impression, and by you, I mean the vast majority of y'all, regardless of what you see when you look in the mirror, still believe that leadership should be white and have a penis. Hey, DJ. And before you try to push back up, now that's not true. Yes, it is. You want mammies and you want white men in power. And you want the white men in power to steal from the mammies and take credit for their work. You'll sit in the comment section of the Am I the Asshole for standing up for myself and listen to all these stories from office settings where people talk about their boss, their coworkers stealing their ideas and getting credit for it. You're like, oh, that's so wrong, that's so horrible. But you watch it and you help it, specifically when it comes to Black women every day. And you'll sit back and watch all of these horrific things happen to this country. And then after everybody is scraped up off the ground, you're like, well, 2 weeks ago, I did see X, Y, and Z. Speaking of which, how many of y'all are going to continue to turn a blind eye because somebody is a double minority? How much longer are you going to pretend that 1 + 1 does not equal 2? I do not care how much you like someone. I don't care how long you've been rocking with their content. You are not online and stuffed in a bubble where you only see one person's content. You're not. So you not verifying anything when it comes to one person, but wanting to verify everything else when it comes to another person is a choice. And what do I mean by this? Carlos Dillard has literally looked you all in the eye via camera, whether a video or live, told you all in detail of his crimes, of his abuse, of his lies, of his grifting. And you all still look at his victims and say that they're the liars. Oh, hey, Josh, you missed. We were giving you your flowers. We were a little ahead of you coming in. But once again, from all of us to you, congratulations. And we need to get together and have a celebratory dinner for you, my brother. Mazel tov. But yeah, when it comes to Carlos Dillard, the original origin story he gave y'all believe. Then somebody uncovered that he had 2 younger siblings that he's always been in contact with. So his memoir wasn't quite honest. And then he finally came out, was like, oh yeah, well, I do this, but I have to do, like, still trying to denigrate the Black family that he hails from, although he said that the white people treated him worse. I need y'all to recognize internalized racism when you see it. Then he gave y'all origin story about how he built his wealth. Then somebody uncovered that he and his husband were doing the whole reality TV circuit and the game show circuit in order to, hey, Squishy, in order to make ends meet early on. Hey, Squishy. He has admitted to abusing his husband. He said in 4K on a live that yes, he did threaten to kill a woman. He claimed that threatening to kill her was in self-defense. It was in self-defense of her defending herself against his harassment. Y'all took his word for it, and him being a victim and him having a legal victory when he said, how did court go? Let me show you. And he cut to a video that it's obvious he set up. That wasn't a news broadcast. That was just somebody standing outside with a mic going, and the person didn't even stand on camera. How did things go for you? And he sat there looking like a bootleg, overly tan Don Corleone, trying to play victim, and you ate it up. He recently said, God don't play about me. I'm here to break all of my family's generational curse. How would you know about your family's generational curses if you weren't raised around them? And if you received a different family and a different upbringing, what curses do they have? And how can you claim a victory over something that you're orchestrating? You wrote the script, you're directing it, you're producing it, and you're filming it. I can look like the victor as well if I became the Tyler Perry to my life online. But essentially, aren't we all? You decide what you want to share and what you don't. Huh? Hmm? And one adoptee to the rest of the adoptee community. Why do y'all feel like he's your savior? Why do you refuse to think for yourself? What harm do you think is going to come to your life if you question him and what he says the way he asked you to question everybody else? Is it because he's gay? Is it because he's black? Because this man boldly and proudly said that he didn't care about Trump grabbing women by the pussy because he couldn't grab him by the pussy because he doesn't have one. He said yes with his whole chest that he voted for MAGA. Hey, twin. What's poppin', twin? But y'all still rocking? Y'all still rocking and rolling? Huh? Huh? And the newest thing is y'all were out here perpetuating that my good big brother has a restraining order and has to relinquish what? Weaponry out of his home? Where? And nobody thought to question how or why Carlos Dillard would be posting a video from a process server or how he got it. Because generally, in a legal sense, the process server may wear a body cam, may record themselves on the phone. That is for evidence to turn over to an agent of the court. In the event that anything became violent, the person refused to accept the legal paperwork, things like that. But y'all don't want to question that. Why? Why? One thing and this supersedes social media, because I've noticed this before social media was brewing in somebody's daddy's balls, okay? Okay. People have an affinity. They like someone so much that they don't question anything. They don't question nothing, okay? They could come on here and go, you know what? Last night I was soaring on the Boab bird's left wing, and child, the right wing, Boab deep fried for himself and served it up to me, and it was delicious. And y'all be like, yup, you know what? I think I seen you flying in the sky doing that. Yup. Somebody else can get online, fall over and hurt themselves online on camera in front of your face. You will argue them to the death that that's not what happened. You think that having a favorite means that you cannot question them because as soon as you question, they can no longer be your favorite. My thing is, if you cannot question who you like, why do you like them in the first place? You question deities every single day, but you won't question man. You make fun of Trump supporters. But what makes you different than them? What makes you different than them? And before you go, like I say, anytime I question, anytime I give advice, anytime I bring up something, I include myself in it. And my friends and family can tell you there are multiple times that I will get on the phone and ask, what the are you thinking? What's going on with this? I need you to explain this to me. I question. And I expect them to question me. Now, granted, in everything, are there things that that's not anybody else's business? Absolutely. Well, we all know that for the most part. But hey, Courtney, yes, you can. But yeah, all of this, y'all just believe in stuff that's illogical. It's ridiculous. Y'all really think that the Christian God is giving favor to somebody who's never been religious until they're bullying and harassing somebody, but has been caught in multiple lies? Here's the thing. Discourse is going to happen in life. Absolutely. Everybody is not going to be agreeable all the time. But I want y'all to wonder something. If one person cannot go a full 4 weeks without a massive viral scandal, who is really the problem? And why is it that the objective every time they get into a scandal is to silence the other person? We're going to encounter people that don't see eye to eye with us. We're going to encounter people that we just don't jive with, that we don't need to talk to one another because it's not going to go well. But you're going to tell me you can't go 4 weeks? There are multiple Reddits, subreddits, YouTube channels, notable publications writing about your abuse. This is why you don't want your stuff leaving TikTok. You want everybody to stay contained on TikTok, because what happened to your podcast? What happened to your newsletter? Why isn't there a mass push for a book tour regarding your latest release? People aren't speaking in droves about your life story. Because I saw that you had to do a 2.0 to your original memoir. You didn't go back and grow up again. So what was that? Different cover art and everything. Why haven't you updated your LinkedIn? But why is everybody's only thing that they can talk about you in writing, in video, is the abuse you bring? Just questions. Now, from one cult leader to the next, Senator Steve Daines announced he will not seek re-election. Let me point out to y'all, the GOP is dropping like flies, okay, after a 24-hour period. They realize their lifespan is up. So all of this that y'all did to try to stifle Jasmine Crockett and put in T-Moon MAGA with Tallarico, all of the gerrymandering that you're doing, all of the intimidation that's going on, it's not going to matter when the GOP doesn't want to be in the fight. When the GOP isn't even signing up for the race. They're hanging up they're not even hanging up their shoes. They're taking them bitches out back and setting them on fire. Montana Senator Steve Daines will not seek re-election, he announced Wednesday, adding to a wave of retirements in the GOP ranks. Daines' announcement makes him the 6th Republican senator to choose not to seek re-election in the fall's midterm elections, joining a list that includes North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis, who announced a decision last year, and Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, who was running for governor instead of seeking a second term. Senators Joni Ernst, Cynthia Loomis, and Mitch McConnell, a former Senate Majority Leader, also announced they won't seek re-election this cycle. Open book test. Love to see the U.S. coming. Also, in case you missed it, and there's certain people that are going to be like, this war with Iran, it's because of the Democrats, but the Democrats aren't in control. Still because of the Democrats, we took a vote. It was the Democrats. Should we really be making this a partisan issue, or should we be working together to end all of this? Because this isn't going to end well with us. For us, they want blood, rightfully so. Because over there, their leadership isn't just a willy-nilly, let's pick a name out of the bucket. Like, there's theology back in this. It's a movement. It's not just a person. Like, they don't call it a president. It's Ayatollah. And Ayatollah. Like, there's multiple. That's the Democrats. Is it? Senate Republicans, let me say it for one more time, because 3 times it sinks in. Senate Republicans vote down legislation to halt Iran war in Congress. First vote on the conflict. Senate Republicans vote down an effort Wednesday to halt President Donald Trump Sr.'s war against Iran, demonstrating early support for a conflict that has rapidly spread across the Middle East with no clear U.S. exit strategy. The legislation, known as War Powers Resolution, failed on a 47-53 vote tally. The vote fell mostly along party lines, though Republican Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky voted in favor and Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania voted against. Because Fetterman is really a Republican. He is just a gigantic, supersized racist. As a matter of fact, Fetterman, a Fetty Fed, Fetty no wop. Go chase a black man now. Because, hey, Fetty Fat, same people that you keep trying to cozy up to were the ones that didn't want to give you concessions because, no DEIA, no diversity, equity, inclusion, or accessibility. And you can't really do your job without certain accessibilities, right? Not since your stroke, right? But y'all aren't going to say anything. You're going to sit back and go, well, they always get what they want. They're going to vote how they want. Who cares? And then you're going to sit back and complain, well, the Democrats aren't doing it now. They can't do what you don't tell them. Okay? That is like going off on the wait staff when you haven't told them what you want to order. And if you've already decided to give up your power and you decided mom is the word, what do you expect to happen? You've muzzled yourself. You have let a small portion of this society here within the United States get what they want. So now what? I think y'all just like to complain. In case you missed it, Kexeth, the sector, said that the U.S. killed Iranian leader behind Trump assassination plot. He said, and I quote, yesterday, the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump. And President Trump got the last laugh. I feel like if Iran really tried to kill Trump, there would have already been some slow walking, slow sinking, and casket bringing. So they said in the summer of 2024, when Trump was campaigning for president, U.S. intelligence indicated that there was an Iranian threat to assassinate Trump, prompting the Secret Service to increase his security protection. In November 2024, the Department of Justice charged an Iranian man who prosecutors said was tasked with surveilling and killing Trump to avenge the 2020 death of Qasem Soleimani, the top commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Soleimani was killed in a January 2020 U.S. drone strike in Baghdad directed by Trump. Iran has denied that it had plotted to kill Trump. There have been people who have taken credit for some things. This ain't one. Once again, if they wanted to off Trump his time at Mar-a-Lago, they could have did that. Like whoever the staff writer is for this season of the Wackadoodle Wing, get some help, okay? You've Tyler Perry too close to the sun, honey bun. This storyline ain't working. It doesn't make any sense. Right, not like the dude with the gas can, right. Okay, all right. I feel like here soon y'all are gonna start just calling me hazmat. But hear me out. Hear me out. I gotta tell y'all certain stuff because I need y'all to like stay healthy. Okay. So just before we start, you know I love y'all, but y'all still got the cooties. Okay? Okay, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at yourself. You got the cooties. Okay? Doctors are seeing a bizarre new COVID symptom right now. When? Right now. Where? Right here. Mm-hmm. Spring and St. Patrick's Day are both on the way. And with them, all the greenery, rainbows, and shamrock shakes that come with them this festive time of the year. Who is drinking shamrock? You know what? Don't even tell me. Don't even tell me. Because we are still in the throes of super gonorrhea amongst everything. But before you celebrate not being buried up to your knees in snow in the foreseeable future, here's another thing to worry about. COVID-19 is still very much a threat in March 2026, a full 6 years since the first lockdowns, and especially so to the people who don't exactly have a pot of gold in terms of health. While most people will recover from a COVID-19 infection, some will get more serious illnesses such as pneumonia, requiring medical care and hospitalization. That's according to Dr. Joseph Brissi, MD, Director of Respiratory Virus Prevention and Preparedness Programs at the Task Force for Global Health. He tells that to Parade Magazine. He also goes on to say, and I quote, "Anyone who has shortness of breath should seek medical care to get early treatment. Serious disease is especially common among older adults, people with certain underlying illnesses, and people with immunocompromising conditions." Part of what makes COVID-19 like influenza is tricky is that it's mutating constantly. The dominant strains are XFG and MB.1.8.1, part of the JN.1 lineage. Dr. Tyler Evans, MD, infectious disease specialist and founder and CEO of Wellness Equity Alliance, explains the current JN.1 based vaccines are designed to protect against them. Compared to earlier variants, these strains are more transmittable, but they do not cause a dramatically different set of symptoms. The main difference is that they've evolved to better sidestep some existing immunity from past infection or vaccination, which is why updated vaccines matter. Since late 2021, Omicron variants have predominated in the United States. Dr. Prasad adds, as these viruses continue to evolve, public health officials watch carefully to see whether new strains will be more easily spread or cause more severe disease, and they are continuously testing to make sure that current drugs and vaccines are effective. As the viruses evolve, scientists also monitor to see if the symptoms they cause are changing. According to Dr. Neoma Oparaji, MD, most of the COVID-19 strains are from the Omicron lineage, the type that has been the most common globally since late 2021, as it is easily transmissible. However, there are subvariants of the Omicron that are increasingly more common, such as the NB.1.8.1, Nimbus, and XFG. Previously, COVID-19 strains included Alpha and Delta, which caused more serious symptoms. Which COVID-19 symptoms are doctors seeing the most right now? All of them. Because y'all got the cooties. All right. Now, also, as we move into hot Heffernan's summer, and Heffernan's gender neutral. This is why religion seemed to be the fight, war, etc., but it's more than that. Keith, religion has nothing to do with this Iranian war. This major U.S. airline is permanently closing flight routes, leaving New Yorkers with fewer options. When airline routes are canceled, it can make travel difficult for the people who rely on them. That's especially true when the company in question is a budget airline that makes travel more affordable. Such is the case with Frontier Airlines, as nearly all of its nonstop routes from John F. Kennedy International Airport, JFK, in New York City are being permanently closed by mid-April 2026, according to Simple Flying, and first reported on X by Ishrian Aviation. This may come as a surprising contrast to the positive changes coming to Frontier Airlines in 2026. These include introducing new routes in some airports, the 2026-2027 Go Wild Pass with unlimited flights for free single and first class seating on some flights. It's also not what one would expect, given that Frontier made the number 4 spot on the list of America's best airlines in 2025. Additionally, due to the massive construction and upgrades that JFK is undergoing at the moment, the plan for Frontier Airlines is to move from Terminal 7 to Terminal 6 in the spring. However, 9 routes will no longer be departing from JFK. While the discount airline is still at LaGuardia at NYC's Queensboro and in New Jersey's Newark Liberty International Airport, these canceled routes will make things very inconvenient for many travelers and could leave one wondering if they'll remain at JFK at all. Are we forgetting the change in climate that's going on? And I mean like political climate, economic climate, all of those things right now. Are we forgetting what all goes into business decisions? Or are we just showing that we never paid attention? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You know? Now, I did state that Kristi Noem has been replaced by Mark Wayne Mullen as DHS secretary, and they essentially made a position for her to go so she can still have money to pay for Lewandowski, because Lewandowski can't keep a job. Okay, corrupt from the rooter to the tutor. I guess that's why he's willing to lay pipe on call for Kristi Noem. I don't know. But still got to revel in this moment with Booker and Noem. Take a listen.
When you detain an American citizen, how long do they last?
We don't detain American citizens, and if there's probable cause.
Let me give you, because you are not speaking truthfully under oath. Isaiah Pena Salcedo, a U.S. citizen living in California, was detained more than 70 hours, almost 3 days, even after he showed ICE agents his passport. Are you aware of your officer's activities at our public schools.
Sir, we don't go into schools and do targeted law enforcement operations. We do targeted law enforcement operations like other agencies.
So you're
and law
telling me that
enforcement
ICE
do.
officers entered the grounds of a high school in Minneapolis? That's a fact. Elementary school children in New Jersey are terrified of your agents. When they came upon a school bus stop, they fled. Secretary Noem, these are kids. This is a reckless and out of control agency that you are responsible for. You seem to have no situational awareness whatsoever of some of the most egregious examples of Americans being completely attacked, violated, undermined in accordance with our laws by their own government. And this is what is phenomenal to me, is immigration was your president's number one issue. Overwhelmingly popular with the American people, but now it's overwhelmingly unpopular. And it's not because you are deporting dangerous people that everybody here wants.
No, she's been fired. She's been fired. Creating a position that essentially does nothing for her to still be a cum receptacle is being fired. It doesn't come with the same privileges. She's no longer a cabinet member. She does not have the same pay. She has to. She's been fired. And as I said at the top of the show, they're claiming that this position was going to be announced on Saturday. We know how Trump is. There may be an announcement, there may not. They kept saying that they were in support of her for quite a while. I told y'all 2 months ago that there was a short list of replacements. You do not have a name ready to go that quickly when that's something that you just thought about. This wasn't because of her affair with Lewandowski. They knew about that from the start. It wasn't even about the lies that she told. It was the fact that, hey, constitutional Buddha, it was the fact that she didn't know how to read the room and how to switch it up. The next one that will go is Pam Bondi. I'm just shocked that Tom Homan wasn't put in her place. And Tom Homan is already bitter that he was not chosen as DHS secretary, so it's just a matter of time. It's not that the administration doesn't like women. Trump doesn't like to admit that he is 100% reliant on women for his perceived and actual success. Every aspect of his life that has been successful has been because of a woman. Trump is the quintessential white supremacist and misogynist. And let me explain this to you all. Some of the biggest racists are those that are heavily reliant on melanated individuals for commodification. They need to keep them in their proximity because that's who they steal their ideas from, and that's who their workhorses are. And the biggest misogynists are those that rely on women to get ahead. These are the men that historically in business always have women co-workers, women associates, women assistants who, and these women never seem to be able to get promoted, even though they're always on the winning team. They are the winning team, but nobody will ever know. Well, people do know, they just won't admit it. But it's Trump. And each woman that agrees to be in his sphere believes that they are going to be the next Ivana. They're going to be the one that he respects. They're going to be the one that, he might say some harsh words to, but they'll, sustain the test of time. The only one that has come close to that is Susie Wiles. Susie Wiles has said with her whole chest that she thinks everybody that she works with is dumb as dog shit. She said that Trump has the personality traits of an alcoholic. And he was like, well, yeah, she's right. I do. I do, George. I do. Now, before we close out for the day, little bit of housekeeping. Yes, I did officially start a Patreon page. I did have to put in a ticket with Patreon because for some reason they just decided to flag my account as adult content. It's not. Also, we will be concluding the literary series for Nobody's Girl, the memoir of Virginia Roberts Giuffre today. Then we'll take a break tomorrow and we'll start fresh on Monday with another book centered around Jeffrey Epstein. Do have the Kerr Conspiracy series. We still have to go over episode 5, Candace Owens docu-series off of YouTube. That will happen at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, shortly after this, over on YouTube at TazJ77. What was I going to say? But before we leave, which way did you go, George? Which way did you go? I do have to wish a happiest of happy birthdays to my sister from another mister. From my right hand, GCPR, and at the Villains View, the incomparable, the wonderful, the big-hearted, incredibly intelligent Miss Hot Mess Jess. None of us could really do what we do without her. And I will say that she is a part of that team that keeps me sane. And she'll rock your shit if you mess with me too much. She will rock your shit. Don't let her fool you. But from all of us to you, Jess, happy birthday, girly pop. And make sure you relax. Have a wonderful day. Get higher than giraffe nostrils. And with that, we come to the end of another Taz Effect. Do not forget, tomorrow is Fun News Friday. Y'all have taken to making sure that I don't ignore y'all on Thursday nights, and y'all just start right off the bat at the close of the show on Friday sending stuff. So yeah, we're full. We are full. I've made the list. Yeah. I will say you will thoroughly enjoy tomorrow's show. All right. So yeah. So don't send any more. Okay, don't. We're at capacity. We're at capacity. There's like, I think, five more emails I need to go through today just because of the dates that are on them. Y'all need Jesus, Allah, Buddha, and a few Hindu gods. Pretty sure, and some medication. I love y'all though, but something wrong with y'all. Something very wrong with y'all. We're gonna have a rocking good time tomorrow. We definitely are. All right. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Go out, have a blast. Don't do anything that requires bail in this economy. But most importantly, remember, it only requires bail should you get caught. Don't do that. You're listening to GCPR, the heartbeat of the World Wide Web. From the morning commute to the late night grind, we're right there with you. But we're more than just music and news. We're a platform for the voices that make this community move. Does your business have a story to tell? Because we have the ears you want to reach. From live remotes at your front door to digital campaigns that follow our listeners wherever they go, GCPR Radio connects you to the people who matter most, your neighbors. Let's grow together. Visit us at gcpr.live/advertise-with-us.html. And let's get your brand on the airwaves today. GCPR, where every voice matters.